A topical subject matter. Quick, make an action movie about it. Cocaine Wars, the 1985 Roger Corman-produced flick that is nose candy for the eyes. My eyes! The plot: Cliff Adams, played by John Schneider, is a DEA agent that is undercover at a cocaine manufacturing hideout. He's trying to play it cool and stay on the bad guy Gonzales Regis, played by Federico Lupai's good side. All the while, he's been hired to take down a political figure, Klausman, played by Ivan Gray, from Barbarian Queen, trying to rekindle the love between him and a reporter, Janet Mady, played by Catherine Witch from Demon of Paradise, and keep everything in check. Got all that? Good! Can he succeed, or will there be all-out war? You know, like cocaine war. This was more of a crime drama than an action flick. Sure, there are some sequences that could lean more towards that particular genre, however, the poster kind of speaks otherwise. The poster for Cocaine Wars has, as you can see, John Schneider and Catherine Witt waist-high in a field of long grass, with John Schneider sporting an assault rifle of sorts, I think. Anyway, with the explosions surrounding them and the river in the background, it became the reason why I bought this movie. Well, batting for John Schneider. Speaking of Schneider, I felt he killed it in this role. He plays everything so easygoing and cool. He even has some funny one-liners. He was trying to break from the Dukes of Hazzard because that show had just ended and he wanted to go back into films. Being an action hero was a great way to start, mustache and all. Later on down the road, he'd play in creature flicks like Lake Placid 2, Ogre, Shark Swarm, and Snow Beast, amongst others. He's always been a charismatic and fun actor who makes fun of himself, and has sometimes hammy acting chops. I've always enjoyed his performances, though. Like I said, his one-liners are pretty funny in this, and his "oh" faces during his sex scenes is hilarious. This was produced by B-movie King of Kings Roger Corman, who runs the production company New Horizons. It really did seem like they cut some corners, and could only work with what the little budgets they had. It wasn't a terrible movie by any means, though. Noticing that the action was cut down, I did enjoy the scenes of dialogue. The topic of cocaine and other drug smuggling was very hot around this time. Being shot in Argentina gave it a somewhat tropical and yet poverty-stricken location-like feel. It could have passed for the Philippines. The gore, the effect. Want some blood with your cocaine? Well, you can only have a little. We get a melted face, not as great as it sounds, and some minor blood. Not too much, but it's effective enough. The gunshots and bullet hits are sparse and usually very dry. Not much money, remember? I did like a scene of comeuppance near the end that was highly satisfying. The motion picture soundtrack, it's got a nice synth sound, and I loved that. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was fun, much like this movie was as a whole. With a brisk runtime of a little over 82 minutes, this movie flies right by. It's a cheap, near bloodless trek through a cocaine-ridden wasteland, but it's still a lot of fun. For one, John Schneider steals the show, and the supporting cast is pretty good too. Catherine Witt's character might be a damsel in distress, but she does have some strong characteristics, and isn't afraid to throw a few punches. The bad guy Gonzales Regis is okay. He is memorable enough to make it work. Another thing that works is the music and the setting. While both aren't the greatest, they set the tone, and it is what you would expect to be totally 80s. Overall, I give Cocaine Wars a 2.5 out of 5. Lion Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Twitter and Facebook fan pages in the description below to leave comments and subscribe.